From the top rope to your collection, this collecting the 1, 2, 3 presented by Cardboard Dugout. I'm your host, Mood 3PO. This is my tag team partner, Bropio, coming through with another episode. Bropio, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing good. Yeah, I just spent the whole day really just binge watching season 2 of Unreal. So try to keep it spoiler free, but I mean it's all kind of like stuff that we kind of run about. But yeah, other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah, I feel like if you live on Twitter or X, every freaking clip available on that show is on there. I get it. People got to get your clicks, you got to get your views, get that bag. I understand 100%, but I feel like you can watch literally the whole show over on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm
People are
halfway
quick
through
about it too.
episode.
Like it'll be like
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning and people are already like tweeting about like episode 5, and I'm like, damn, dude.
Yeah, I
Quick.
think I legit think people like wait till like 3 a.m. until like when it drops like on the Pacific Coast time, and then like just start clipping everything and then just start freaking posting it on X or Twitter, get those views, get those clicks, which I get it, get your bag, get that engagement. I know there's some things going around like the algorithm and things like that where like people are getting tons amount of money through that stuff. So hey, by all means, do what you gotta do. But if you don't have a Netflix subscription, I'm pretty sure you can freaking watch literally all that show over on X. But yeah, I'm halfway through episode 4. Going through the Seth Rollins shenanigans, kind of going through all that. The LA Knight stuff was kind of interesting. The R-Truth
Yeah, that
stuff was
one
pretty
was
interesting.
pretty
The
interesting.
the LA Knight stuff maybe kind of translates to why he's kind of booked the way that he is. I don't know. Time will tell with all that, depending on how he comes back once and if and when he does come back. Kind of be interesting, kind of see how that works out. The R-Truth stuff is pretty interesting. I mean, maybe I was an idiot, didn't know that R-Truth and Road Dogg were like a tag team back then. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I
Okay.
don't.
I was watching it with my wife too. She had no idea either. I was like, yeah, they used to be partners back in the day. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you also did not know. Okay.
I also did not know. So I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I knew they had a close relationship based off what I heard and like reports and stuff.
Yeah.
I did not know they were. It was like that. So that was kind of
Yeah.
interesting to kind of see all that play out. But yeah, so far a pretty solid season. Again, I haven't seen the last part of it yet, so we'll obviously keep it spoiler free for everybody here. Probably listen to this on Friday potentially, just so keep that in mind there. But yeah, this episode here we have quite a bit to talk about. We did take a week off. Again, scheduling got the best of us here. But we are going to mix a little bit of some SmackDown, Raw talk. Obviously, some big events did happen here throughout the last week and a half, whatever you want to call it. At the time of this recording here, Saturday is scheduled for Saturday night's main event. We only have 3 matches announced so far right now. I'm pretty sure there is going to be a 4th match. That 4th match being Jordan Grace and Jade Cargo, because they've been obviously hyping up how Jade Cargo has been like a champion for like 80 plus days, has not had one defense. Not her fault. That's just
Wild.
creative and just what the roster is having for her right now, which is why we've seen the call up of Jordan Grace, which has been refreshing. I've enjoyed the call up here. Maybe not so much of a fan of the squash of Chelsea Green. Alba Fire makes sense, but Chelsea Green is squashing her in like less than like 5 minutes, kind of crazy in my opinion. But we do have 3 matches confirmed as far as of right now, so we'll predict all of those just because again that is scheduled for Saturday, and then the following weekend we do got Royal Rumble, which kind of crazy and insane to know that we're already in Royal Rumble season, which we talked about last episode. Doesn't feel like we're there. I know we have people like announcing on Twitter and promos that they're announcing for the Royal Rumble, Cody, Gunther, all that kind of good stuff, but still to me does not feel like it's Royal Rumble season, which is kind of weird. And then we do got some hobby talk here. Obviously, if you guys have been living under a rock, you guys know that Topps Universe has hit the shelf, has hit the back burner for a little bit. So we are going to talk about all that. And just some general hobby talk here of some people that we're watching heading into the Royal Rumble season. Just because while it may not feel like Royal Rumble season, this is probably one of the bigger times in the wrestling card market, especially going into WrestleMania. So kind of wanted to throw it out there kind of as far as a man and woman or both of who we're watching heading into the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season, maybe who we're buying, maybe want a PC or start a PC, who we're buying maybe to get those potential flips or vice versa. But let's go back into a couple of weeks ago here. We got a little bit of some SmackDown talk here. Those overseas shows. I know you're a trooper. You watch them live on television, so you're an absolute trooper for doing that. Myself and other DJs here, obviously we own a VPN, so we watch it during a lot of time that they're live overseas. So we did have a big event overseas. Right, I believe it's only the 3rd time that this happened, but we have Drew McIntyre, your newly crowned WWE champion. Last time that for that belt to change hands was AJ Styles and Jinder Mahal. Obviously, we know the story about that, how Brock didn't want to work with Jinder Mahal, and so they automatically made the flip to AJ Styles. But Drew McIntyre finally getting his time, finally getting his run with a live crowd. Kind of crazy to kind of think about all that, because obviously being crowned
Yeah,
champion era.
when they said that was the first time, well, this past Friday, that was the first time he's come out as champion in front of a crowd. I was like, dude, that is wild to think. And being that was this is his fourth world title reign, if I'm not mistaken.
Fourth or third, I think. Yeah, something like
I
that.
think he was a two-time WWE during COVID, and then obviously he won the heavyweight title at Mania, which was quickly dissolved by Mr. Damian Priest. And then now this one. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that was the first time he's ever come out to a crowd with the title. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, so when they I would literally was about to quote that here. When they said that here, I was like, man, that's absolutely insane. This is his first walkout here. I had a very cool walkout here, with the bagpipes playing and the music and the pyro and the crowd giving him his flowers, and then Drew being such good of a heel and instantly turning that on them is like, you guys weren't here for me, like you guys weren't chanting we want Cody and things like, or we want Drew, but you're chanting like we want Cody or we want Punk, things of that nature. So pretty interesting how, and this shows how good of a heel that he is, that he's able to quickly choice in those cheers, get that moment, and then obviously quickly flip that over. But to go back to Drew just being champion there, I guess obviously I know it's a little bit older news, but obviously we didn't get to talk about it live on the pod. I know we talked about it on briefly here on our group message here with our other brother, but initial reaction to Drew being WWE champion, you like it? You excited for it? I know it seems like online a lot of people were very excited for it. I know myself was very excited for it, but any thoughts on Drew becoming a 4-time champion here? Thoughts of him heading into potentially, granted things can change here very quickly in WWE, but heading into potentially WrestleMania main event as your WWE undisputed champion?
Yeah, I think it was something that was probably like long overdue. I think if we even go back and like look at like all the pre-mods that we did, and we did our predictions for like all the title matches that he was in, um, like he was always like getting screwed out of it. And I didn't going back to the match too. Like when Jacob Fatu came out, I was like, oh god, I was like, here we go again. He's gonna get screwed over, and this is somehow gonna turn into like a between Drew and Jacob and go from there. But like to actually see that they committed, and I think there's even like backstage like rumors that are like slowly coming out that both like him and Cody were pitching for the title change. And yeah, I like it. I think I love Cody as champion. He's one of my faves, but I think he's just a little bit better when he's chasing the title. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what it is. I guess it's probably like that underdog babyface thing. But yeah, I'm excited to see Drew. I think also we're gonna get like hopefully like a fresh new set of, I guess, rivalries. I mean, they're gonna come here. I know there's that well, we're gonna get into it later, but the fatal 4-way number one contenders match at this Saturday at Saturday's main event. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. There's a lot of cool ways that they can probably go with this. So I'm all for it, man. But yeah, I think it was just something that was long overdue. And yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah, and kudos
Pretty cool
to
match
WWE.
too. I was excited for
very
the
good
match too. Like the stage of the thing. I remember they first announced it. I was like, oh heck yeah! Like I couldn't remember when the last time the last I know they had one with Cena, and I don't remember who he fought, but I know Cena had one, and then I think if I'm not mistaken, there was one down in NXT that I wasn't too familiar with. But the one that just came to straight to my head was the classic one from Armageddon between Triple H and Shawn Michaels, which broke my heart as a kid because I hated seeing Shawn Michaels lose. So yeah, but I liked it. I'm glad they brought that concept back. So.
Yeah, overall, real solid match here as well. All the spots, the Cody going through a table will always be one of the more like funnier spots here. He looks so like generic, like so it's like the most like basic and generic frog splash that it could ever look. Especially the one he hit in San Antonio and during our event. I'm like, this dude really on Cena, like just holding the contract too. Like, is that all that necessary? It just looks so like floppy and so generic. I don't know what it is, but it's just so funny.
Doing it looks
it's stiff. That's
like,
that's the proper word there. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. But yeah, overall, really solid match here. And again, gonna echo some of the things here. I do like here, and I'm gonna tip my cap to WWE being creative. I was a little bit worried that they were gonna run Drew and Cody again for like whatever time this will be, but having that little snippet in that contract saying like, hey, if I win, like you do not have an automatic title rematch, and that obviously sets up Cody for the Royal Rumble. Is he going to be a 3-time Royal Rumble winner? We'll obviously talk about that next week, but obviously sets up for that stipulation, sets up for the Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Again, we'll talk about that as we get to a little bit closer during the episode here. But yeah, it sets up a lot of very interesting things. I'm a fan of it. I'm going to be curious to see how long this reign's going to be. It seems like WWE has kind of gone over to the traditional kind of like shorter reigns type esque. Don't know if that's going to be the case here for Drew, but it is nice to see Drew get his flowers here, get his moment with the crowd. I'm pretty sure there were Rumbles in a pot from over in Saudi. If he does have a match there at the Royal Rumble, oh yes, he will face the Fatal 4-Way. Yes, so I'm pretty sure he'll get a nice little pop overseas. Heading to the Royal Rumble season, heading to WrestleMania as well. Again, if he's still champ or chasing once again, will be a very, very nice turn of events for Drew McIntyre. So happy to see that come into play. Crazy to live in a world that Drew McIntyre and CM Punk are head champions. Kind of insane to think about it. If you had asked me a couple of years ago if that would happen, I probably would have told you no. But them two being champions at the same time definitely wasn't on my 2026 wrestling bingo card. But yeah, shout out to Drew McIntyre. His card market didn't really take off too much. There's some stuff here that kind of popped off a little bit. I know I was watching the Let's Go case hit for him, but didn't eventually pick that one up here. But it's something to keep an eye out here moving forward again as we slowly approach WrestleMania and Royal Rumble season. Big things here on Monday Night Raw again overseas. Is this the last one, or are we going back to, or is there one more? I really can't. I really don't know.
I think this should be the last one. God, I hope
That's
so.
the last one, right? That's the last one, right? I think it is. I could be wrong.
These early start time Raws throw me so off. Like, I don't know. My brain can't comprehend Monday Night Raw at 2:00 in the afternoon. So
yeah. I honestly forgot that they were on early. I was out and about with Mrs. Moon. I'm like, oh shit, Raw's on. I was watching it as we were like shopping through stores and things like that. And eventually did watch the replay, but yeah, totally crossed my mind that Raw was on once again at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, our time. Solid episode of Raw. Obviously, the big takeaway here is going to be AJ Styles versus Gunther. I know they had a match last week where Gunther did proceed to tap. The ref did not see it. And then obviously it leads to Gunther getting the victory there. And then thus leading on to the eventual match here that's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. We will have our official prediction next week when we preview the Royal Rumble. Once we get that official card, we will give our brief prediction there. But surprising that this AJ Styles stipulation is on so early. I know some people were kind of thrown off by it because he's always said 2026 was going to be the end of his in-ring career. So, I mean, by all means, he's not lying. It is 2026, but I think we thought in the process he was going to get like a full retirement tour, like a John Cena S tour. I know WWE also did drop a AJ Styles collection. They dropped like a pretty cool belt. They dropped some T-shirts. So I don't know if this is in the end for AJ Styles. Again, we'll predict it once next week. But quick little thoughts here on just the thought potentially and them implying this AJ Styles returning early. Shocking, not shocking. What are the quick thoughts here on AJ Styles?
Yeah, when they first brought it up, I was like, man, are they really gonna do this already? And I was trying to wrap my head on the possibility of AJ losing. I did see something on Twitter. I don't know how true it is, but there are rumblings that apparently AJ's contract ends in February. So if that lines up perfectly, and if for some reason like Gunther does come away with the dub, I mean the next day was legit February from the Royal Rumble. So that kind of plays into it if that is true. But I don't know. Like I don't know if this is the kind of like just the top of my head. I don't know if it was kind of just like he's gonna leave the WWE or like retire from WWE in a sense, but then like maybe go over to TNA and like actually finish off his career in TNA now that they got that big TV deal over there at AMC. So I don't know if that's a possibility. I don't know, just because we'd have to wait and see. But
and they did tease a little. I didn't watch TNA, full disclosure, but I did see some clips here. I know they did tease like him, eyeing the TNA World Heavyweight Championship with Frank Kazarian. I believe now Mike Santana is the champion.
Well, now I don't know. I heard that show was a clusterfuck. So
yeah, I heard the same thing.
Apparently, they ended the show early, and like Dolph or Nick Nemeth tried to cash in like his title shot on Mike Santana, and then at the same time, it looked like Frankie Kazarian supposed to pin out, or I don't know. It sounded like it was a mess. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see where this goes. But
Yeah, no, I have heard the same thing. I heard it was a clusterfuck, as you would say, as
yeah,
of a mess there. A lot of different things here. I did see some, pretty cool returns. We had Cora Jade, or now known as Elena Black,
Elena
return. Sonya
Black.
Deville.
Yeah,
I don't know what her name is in TNA. If I'm being completely honest, Sonya Deville. I don't know what her name
is it
is.
Daria something?
Daria something.
Yeah,
Somebody will have to fact check me on that.
like,
But yeah, I did see that show was a big old mess here, which isn't the start there that you want on AMC. But yeah, I know there are some rumors about that. Obviously AJ Styles having his tie-ins there. Maybe we get a one-on-one with Leon Slater. We know they had that match over on Saturday Night's main event with John Cena's
that caused an uproar too about the whole him having visa issues, and then he showed up
he
and
showed up on
on
SmackDown.
SmackDown, and so Carmelo's, but I think he's from the UK if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he
Okay,
is.
so I don't know.
Yeah, I know people are making
Read into that as much as you want to.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but I know people a lot of we're blowing that into proportion of how has this really benefited TNA? Like, has there really been a benefit from them? I
Yeah,
honestly wouldn't be able to tell you if there's been a benefit for TNA. It's helped a lot of the WWE guys. I think it's helped Trick Williams, because Kalani Jordan had the belt for a little bit as well. Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry. I really can't speak on the TNA side a little bit. I think I know we're kind of talking about it too, kind of going off tangent here. Like, it's kind of awkward to see the ex-WWE talent like Elena Black on TNA, because there obviously is that partnership with WWE. So you would think there's
considering
like
the fact too that when she got released, like I think she went on Ariel Helwani's podcast and even said that like she would be open to like go to TNA, but at the same time it'd be weird because they're in cahoots with NXT.
yeah,
So she'd literally be like right back into the sway of things. So that is kind of weird. But I guess you really think about it, it's like the same thing. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Indy Hartwell back on NXT ever since she signed with TNA. I think she's kind of
yeah.
been kept off to the side for that. So, and then you don't see Nick Nemeth either on NXT or Dolph Ziggler. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure there is a way to get around it, but yeah, it is kind of strange. Mm.
Yeah,
I always thought like Dakota Kai would probably show up there eventually too, but I don't know. Guess we'll see.
Yeah, a little weird there. So I was like, that's kind of interesting, especially when you look at her outside ventures. Not gonna say that here on the pod, but we look at the outside venture that obviously comes to play with it. If you know, you know. But yeah, curious to see. We'll be interested to watch. I think supposedly the deal is it's a 1-year deal, so time will tell with all that. But hey, that's just a little bit of a off tangent talk here. Some TNA again.
1 year until she's all elite. All you sickos out there.
I'm surprised I'm surprised. I know she had her dark stuff before she got signed with WWE, so I'm surprised she didn't.
I think they're really picky now who they sign.
Yeah, the rumor I've heard is that Tony Khan is like real picky now. When they first got they're throwing contract left and right to everybody. I think now they're a little bit picky on who they're.
I don't know, but then again, like they just snatched up the Rascals, so
yeah.
Well, except for that one guy, I don't know what happened with that one guy. I don't even really know what. I know there were some rumblings about. Some past prior comments made that were sketchy. I haven't seen it, so I really don't know what it is, but yeah, no, it's so weird because they're saying like that it came from a higher up in AEW. I'm like, isn't that Tony Khan? Like, he's the owner. Like, who's more higher up than him? Is it like somebody from the TV station, like on TNT and stuff like that, HBO Max? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know who's higher power than Mr. Tony Khan. So, but
yeah, I did see that tweet too. I didn't read too much into it, but yeah, then signing with the Rascals there, so it'd be cool to see Wesley back into. I think that heel turn with WWE just didn't do, and it really didn't.
Yeah, that was weird.
So that was a really awkward one there. So, but yeah, time will tell with all that. Speaking of heel turns and potential babyface turns, we had obviously going back to Monday Night Raw here. We got the return of the OG theme, Finn Balor. Is this the turn of a potential babyface turn for Finn Balor? Time will tell. Obviously, having a match with CM Punk did not come out victorious. Was very close. It would look like at one point that there was going to be that little slimmering of hope that Finn Balor was going to be your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, bringing some gold back to the Judgment Day. But there's some hope for Finn Balor. I know we've been talking about Finn off the side as well. Kind of maybe that's our guy we're looking at heading into the WrestleMania and Royal Rumble season. But it felt so good to hear that song again, hear that entrance, doing the little the emote. Everything just felt so right for those 10
Yeah.
minutes in that match too. A very good match. I know there's been the flack of CM Punk and all that stuff recently. I don't get it. I don't think he's had like he doesn't obviously he's a little bit slower. No, there's no denying it. But I don't think there's been a bad match since his World Heavyweight title turn or run, I should say. But this one added on to some of the another one to the bucket list here because I believe it's the first time, and obviously the first time in WWE. I don't know if they had their running in the Indies, but yeah, overall, very fun match. Again, slimmer of hope for Finn Balor heading into 2026. I know at the beginning of the year he had that promo where he wants to bring some gold back. It's crazy also to know that it's been 10 years since the whole Universal
Universal
Champion, the
time.
shoulder
Yeah.
thing. Absolutely insane that it's been that long. I was telling Mrs. Moon because we were watching it there a little bit, how we were part of his NXT farewell tour. Remember when he did all that?
Yeah, I have
Uh,
a NXT poster. I think that's he signed on it. Um, it was him and Nakamura versus Samoa Joe and Bobby Roode.
yeah, Bobby
So
Roode.
yeah, they're all signed poster. But yeah, I didn't want to cut you off. So you can.
Oh yeah, no, I'll say in there. Yeah, it was. So Finn Balor obviously has been a big part of our, upbringing. I won't say upbringing, but like our return to wrestling. That's kind of when we got back into wrestling. So, but yeah, kind of to like summarize everything here for Finn Balor. Like it was so good to see that entrance, see that theme song again. Seeing the crowd behind him again. He gets that pop in. He doesn't get. I don't want to say he doesn't get any pop in the state. I think the theme song hurts a little bit. But just seeing that babyface reaction for him again, that he would get like an NXT, and then when he got called up in the first time, like it was just so rejoicing. But obviously didn't come out victorious again. But overall, just really, really good to see Finn Balor here, and it kind of does show that potentially there is some hope for him in 2026.
Yeah, I've always liked Finn, man. Like I was a really big fan of his, especially like when he was down in NXT. Like how you said, like he was pretty much like when we were watching NXT, um, like more religiously, like every week. Like he was like the center and main focus of it. Like, and that's just the way it was. And even like with the whole like the whole demon character, I thought that was like so cool the way they did it and stuff like that. But yeah, ever since I don't know, I guess I don't know. He just I guess the way like he was like just booked like more recently, it was kind of like he was just always losing and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's something like maybe like the crowd and the fans just are like, oh, like every time we see Finn, like he's just like the schedule he's gonna lose and blah blah blah. And I feel like people don't really like can see his like full like main event potential. Is that's maybe the word I'm looking for? Because I've always seen him like to me, he's always been like a main event star, regardless if he's in the world title picture or not. So like to see him like in main eventing with Punk, I was like, man, this is so cool. Um, and then the pop he gets, and like even when he did that NXT what did they do, that anniversary party, the whole black and gold thing, like when Finn went
Oh
down
yeah,
there and he came out with his old team, like
yeah.
everybody popped for it too, and I was like, oh shit, which made no sense at the time because he was like kind of like real heelish at the time when he did that, so it was kind of just like random. But yeah, he's just somebody that I always liked. It's interestingly enough, like we're always looking at. He's one of the autos like I want to pick up, and he's pretty affordable for the most part. Like you can find like a nice auto, probably like between like 40 to 50, $60, probably depending on which site you're looking at. But yeah, I mean, hopefully this kick starts maybe a separation from the Judgment Day. I think it's probably time that he probably just needs to go out and venture on his own, maybe. Um, but I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, man, I was when they first announced that match, I was like, ooh, I was like, that's gonna be a good one. So
Yeah, no, speaking of the Judgment Day really quickly, they're like really in a interesting spot right now. Like if you were to disband the group, like I think this was kind of like the perfect time to do it in a sense.
yeah,
Like JD's out, Dom is nowhere to be seen. Like I know he's dealing with a shoulder injury, but like he's nowhere to be found, like nowhere to be mentioned either. Like I hate to kind of say it, like the mid card right now is kind of hurting. Like there literally was a thought in my head, I'm like, dude, who the hell is the IC champ? Like, oh fuck, I forgot it's Dom. Like
yeah.
he's not here.
Have they even
Like, and
said what his injury was or how long he's supposed to be
I
out?
from what I heard, it's a shoulder injury. So
Uh,
like, I don't know how serious that is. Obviously, I know we had that scare with Javon Evans as well this past week, this past Monday as well. But yeah, like I don't know how serious that is, but like if it's that serious, like I would again hate to say it, but like give up the title, vacate the title, give it to somebody else, give it a Penta, do something with it. But kind of going back to what I was saying, like JD's out, Dom's out. you have this potential. Maybe we'll talk about it when we get to the card. This potential Liv Morgan and Roxanne turn. Is that gonna happen? We obviously have Raquel Rodriguez still in the women's world title picture with Stephanie McCurr. Like, do you run back, just Liv and Raquel again, and kind of leave Roxanne by herself? Do you switcheroos it? Do you have Liv go on this baby face run? Obviously, we'll talk about it maybe into more detail in a little bit here. But yeah, I think the Judgment Day right now is in a very interesting spot where if you want to find a very smart and creative way to disband this group and have everybody kind of do their own thing, Dom, if he is going to be IC champ, to run that with Liv or whoever, have Finn Balor go off and do his own thing, and then when JD comes back into the fold, kind of figure that out. You're definitely in that spot right now. If you want to do it, you could do it. So I think if you are going to get Finn Balor on this babyface turn, I think right now we're in the prime time right now where you can execute it and actually execute it well, and he can go off and do whatever he's going to do heading into WrestleMania. But yeah, that's what we got here for Monday Night Raw. Again, I talk about SmackDown as well. I don't think there was anything else too interesting on Monday Night Raw. No, we had the Natty heel turn. I know some people were kind of shitting on it. I mean, I think it's like a year too late type thing. Also a little bit too early as well. Like I know they had their.
I know they had funky too, because it like when Natty put Becky's foot on the rope, like she clearly did it like right in front of the referee, and then it just like after that, it just looked awkward. Like usually when like stuff like that happens, like I want like just the match to like just kind of end, and it kind of just looked funky. Like Maxine just kind of like ignored it in a sense and just kind of went back to like try to beat up Becky, and then Becky just manhandle slammed her, and that was the end of it. But it just, I don't know, something missed. So
yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
A year too late, and I think a little bit too early. Like I know they had the video packages of them, and like I know like Natty will like send up for Maxine like backstage and stuff like that, but we really didn't see them like too much on screen.
Oh yeah, I don't even know where the hell Natty's been. She's like disappeared.
Yeah, like she's been in the freaking dungeon from what we see with these video packages and doing things in AAA and what's that other Black Sport or Bloodsport?
Bloodsport, yeah.
Like doing all that. So like, I don't know. I feel like there was something missing with that. Like I feel like you could have had Maxine lose in like either like a heelish way or whatever, and then like have Natty and Maxine go maybe like chase the tag team titles or something. Then execute the heel turn. I think that maybe that would have done something a little bit better. But like, have Natty be on actual Raw television for the first time in X amount of time, and then have her turn heel. I don't know. It was so, yeah, like you mentioned, so awkward. Like it felt late, but also felt so early. Like there wasn't like a true median or a true good spot with that. We have the interesting stuff with Adam Pearce and the Vision. So however long that decides to go. Javon Evans does look like he did hurt himself pretty bad. I don't know. I haven't seen any
I haven't seen anything about that either.
I haven't seen anything on that. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully he's in time healthy for the Royal Rumble, which I would think they'll be pushing it just because again, we're already a week out. Technical difficulties, but Javon Evans looking like he's out with a potential shoulder injury. I did also see like concussion. I honestly don't know. I didn't read too much into it. But yeah, hopefully he's healthy in time for the Royal Rumble season and heading into WrestleMania. But yeah, is there anything I missed? I don't think there hasn't been anything as far as I missed. SmackDown's been good with the 3 hours. I've been fine with it. Obviously we'll talk a little bit about some of the participants that have been carrying SmackDown. But yeah, I think we've covered majority of the most parts of Raw and SmackDown, unless I missed something.
Yeah. No, I think we pretty much hit everything. I missed this more recent SmackDown. I didn't get around to watching too much of it, so I had to like see like clips here and there from YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah.
I'm giggling. I'm just thinking about the Kit Wilson.
Oh, dude, I did see that. Well, I see it all over the damn internet. So that shit's hilarious, man.
The part that makes me lose my mind is like, dude, I watched it live again. I watched it with the VPN on Netflix. So he comes out after the Trick Williams and Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
He looks at Trick Williams all toxic, and then he fucking and then he then proceeds to freaking beat up Matt Cardona, and then goes back to emoting. It was absolutely freaking hilarious, and it's so glad that everybody's like picking up on it. Like even ESPN posted about it. Like it's
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious, and like the movement that we're seeing for Kit Wilson right now, is absolutely insane. I'm a fan of it. I love it so much.
And off tangent too, but I knew Elton Prince was hurt, but, like, I didn't know to the extent of, like,
Yeah,
of when and how he got hurt, so now seeing, like, the clip,
yeah.
of when he got
It was
hurt,
the
it was the match with Fraxium.
Fraxium, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was on a SmackDown thing, so, yeah, so it was pretty crazy. I think he posted that he got, like, a neck surgery. I think he got neck
Like
surgery or
a
something
neck
like
tube
that?
fusion or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm like, "Shit,
Which is
that's
it's a pretty bad one from what we've heard and seen. But yeah, I think
scary
that
as
was the
hell."
first. I knew we knew it was a pretty serious injury, but I don't think we knew like what exactly what it was. So
Yeah.
when they obviously, I think it made sense or like kind of like mention where he was at, which I do think is pretty cool that in his theme song they still mentioned pretty
They
deadly,
said
like
mention for Deli, yeah.
yeah, like if Elton Prince, hopefully he does come back. Like if they do come back, that there will like everything they've always talked about was being as a tag team, which I really thought that was a really nice and sweet posted by Kid Wilson. I think he knows that this stuff is taking off. I don't know if it's taking off faster than expected. I don't even think WWE knew that this is gonna take off. But also before we get into Science Main Event, it also just shows like how important theme music is. Like we obviously just talked about Finn Balor, how awesome it was to hear that theme song again. And now Kit
Mhm.
Wilson, like how important music is to some of these people. Trick Williams as well, great theme song. Like I don't like if like, and you see some of the people like who lack pops, like Jordan Grace,
Shane is in
not
the
the
theme
best
song.
theme. That theme song is freaking terrible.
Yeah.
Julia
Zelina
does
Zelina Vega needs
Julia
a
does,
new theme song.
Selena Vega doesn't have a good one. Julia doesn't have a really good one. There's a few others here that I'm pretty sure that we can kind of like name off, but yeah, like it just obviously again just show Blake Monroe being a good one as well, but it also just shows that theme songs are very very important. So if WWE can finally start like, hey, maybe these songs do mean something a little bit. Hopefully, it's the start of something. But yeah, this did wanted to mention here our boy Kit Wilson here, absolutely tearing it up on social media and tearing it up there in the ring. Did have a good match against Ilya Dragunov on Saturday's Main Event. I did watch that
Oh, I
over
hadn't
on
seen it.
YouTube. It's on YouTube. Yeah,
Is
I
it
think
on
they're
You
doing this.
is Saturday Night's Main
Yeah,
Event now on YouTube? Because I know they were on Peacock before, so
yeah, they're doing main event. I think they just started doing main event on YouTube now.
I'm gonna have to
So
check
you
it out
can go
maybe
like they
tomorrow.
had like there's an Alpha Academy match, and I think against the Creed brothers, I think. And then there's the Ilya Dragunov and Kibble. It's like a 11-minute, 12-minute match, but any Ilya Dragunov match is not a bad match. So highly recommend to go check that one out.
There you go.
Which is a perfect segue into Saturday's main event because we did have Ilya Dragunov part, or potentially was going to be a part here of the card, but unfortunately he is not. But like we mentioned here, we do got Saturday's main event this Saturday. Don't know if I'm going to watch it live just because I will be traveling this weekend, so time will tell. If I do watch it live, I'll try to do my best here. Obviously, I'll keep up with it on socials, but we'll be traveling. Seems like I'm always going to be traveling every Saturday Night's Main Event now, based on my schedule and my wife's schedule. Because 2 years in a row that Saturday Night's Main Event has rolled into WWE. Last year being in our hometown, which I couldn't
Yeah,
attend
that's
to,
right. Yeah.
and then now this one here. So it seems like for the foreseeable future, I will not be watching Saturday Night's Main Event live, and probably just watch it in the hotel room when I get back. But yeah, again, only 3 matches right now. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a 4th match. Again, that being Jade Cargill, Jordan Grace. We're not going to do a prediction for it because it's not officially announced. So I'm not going to make a prediction for something that's not officially announced. But if there is, I'll probably make a quick little prediction over on TikTok or something. But let's talk about what we have confirmed so far. So first match here, they're calling it a grudge match, whatever the hell that means. I'm assuming it's like a no DQ. I would assume, or maybe just like a street fight brawl. I really don't know what a grudge match is. Somebody has to enlighten me on that. But we do got Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu, which I'm surprised they announced kind of early. Like I thought maybe that would have been like maybe like a Royal Rumble, maybe like in between. But nice that we're seeing this here on a a live event, if you want to call it that. This one here kind of interesting. Like, do you go Cody losing back-to-back big matches, marquee matches? Do you give Jacob Fatu the nod early? It is his return. I know, again, we're talking about it off the side here. I did feel that return and the steel cage, while a nice return, was kind of weird. Like, he attacked Cody and then he attacked Drew.
Yeah.
Who's the true attacker? Like, who really took him out? I don't think it's either of them. I honestly do think it's Randy Orton. But
Ooh,
but
yeah.
yeah, this one here, very interesting how you go. And I think this grudge match stipulation opens up to some potential foolery to happen. What that is, who knows? But I guess I'll throw it over to you first, bro. Pio, do you have Cody Rhodes dropping back-to-back major single matches heading into Royal Rumble?
I think he could. I mean, I don't. I think at this point, like nothing can pretty much hurt Cody's stock. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but like I also don't think you can have like just Jacob return and then automatically just lose in a sense. I think it's gonna just depend on what the actual stipulation is to a grudge match. I don't know if it's just like they're just gonna hash it out kind of thing, and they're just calling it a grudge match. So if that's the case, maybe like if and guess what I mean by that, if there's not like a no disqualification thing attached to it, like I can possibly see this like just them like getting out of control and the referee like calls it off or something like that and kind of like end in a no disqualification in a sense. So if it is that route, I'm gonna go like no disqualification. If it has a no disqualification, I'm gonna predict Jacob's probably gonna win. And if there is a disqualification, like if it's just a regular match, I'm gonna call it double DQ. Nobody wins and protect both guys in a sense.
What was the match
Yeah.
that you did that with? You did that,
Damn,
and
I
you're
don't
right
remember.
on it.
I
Damn,
don't
what match
remember.
was it?
I don't remember,
Damn,
honestly.
damn. I know you did call that.
I predicted foolishness. That's what I did.
Yeah, foolery. Yeah, you predicted some
Foolery.
type of foolery, and it did happen. I don't remember the match that it was, but it exactly did happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was to pick a winner in this one, I would pick Jacob Fatu. If you're going to try to establish Jacob Fatu again, I don't think his absence really hurt him. But if you are trying to, get him back into potentially a main title picture, is he a Royal Rumble favorite, things like that. I do think he has to be the one to. I don't think he has to be, but it would be nice to see him come out victorious. So yeah, I do got Jacob Fatu taking this one here. I really don't see Cody Rhodes. I agree with you 100%. I don't think him losing hurts him in any way, and especially if there are stipulations attached to it, it definitely is not going to hurt his stock. If it was a singles like one-on-one clean match, maybe potentially you can make that argument, but because there is this potential stipulation, again, what that is, I'm pretty sure it's some sort of no DQ street fight brawl, something of that nature. I'm pretty sure that's that type of stipulation. I don't think it really hurts Cody that much here, so he can take a L and head off into the Royal Rumble. Maybe he's the one that eliminates Jacob Fatu out of the Royal Rumble. Time will tell on that. But yeah, this one here do got Jacob Fatu retaining. Next up here, we got the Women's Tag Team Championships. Here we got Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, the tag team of Rio versus Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Like we were mentioning here about a short minutes ago here, is this potentially the turn of Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez? Do we see Liv Morgan turn on Roxanne or vice versa? I don't know if he pulled that trigger so early. But again, like I just mentioned, it absolutely makes perfect sense if you're trying to lead up to this Judgment Day breakup or eventually implosion. But with all that being said here, I don't see Rhea Ripley and Io Sky losing their first official title defense. Once that do happen, I do have another tag team involved. I think they would drop the titles too. But yeah, in this one here, I do got Rhea Ripley and Io Sky taking this one here, retaining the women's tag team champions.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the what's the word? They're like to me they're like the female version of the Mega Powers. The Mega Powers being Hogan and Savage. Like to me, that's who they are. They're like the female version of him. Like they mesh so well. Like obviously Rhea is the powerhouse. She has the power, and Io has the speed and the high flying abilities. So yeah, I don't see them losing to Liv and Roxanne. But I think I'm with you. Like if they're gonna do this potential split between them, like this could obviously be the starting point of the riff. And I know Liv acts already like kind of like weird backstage already with Roxanne. Like there's little hints here and there. Even when it comes to Raquel, she's made some like weird comments now and then, kind of like hinting at it. So but yeah, I think if there's a way to like kind of start planting the seeds for it, I think this would be the perfect way, especially if Roxanne's the one to take the pin. Like Liv can be like, you're the one who took the pin, kind of like the way Asuka was doing to Kyrie this past Monday. Which man, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I think I don't see Rhea and Io losing anytime soon.
Yeah, agree with you 100%. Do love the Mega Powers comp there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, you know,
I agree with
I'm gonna have to make a an AI gift of them in the Mega Power outfit or something.
but yeah, Liv has been making the commentary. I think it was last week, right? Or last week or 2 weeks ago, where she was like, I never officially lost my titles.
I think
So
it was a couple weeks
making
ago. Yeah.
yeah, making that comment there, and then kind of making the comment to Roxanne backstage saying, like, oh, like I thought you were here, like I thought you were like a backstabber. I'm paraphrasing, but thought you were just here to like sabotage everything, but like you're my prodigy type thing, kind of setting her up for that failure. But yeah, will be interesting to see Roxanne Perez as the babyface again. I don't know how that'll work on the main roster. If they go that route, I think she's better as a heel. If you go back and watch some of the NXT stuff, I think she's a lot better executed as a heel. But again, time will tell. Liv Morgan, I think, can go either way, babyface or heel. She's gonna get cheered. I don't think anybody's really gonna boo her. But yeah, gonna be interesting to watch this one here moving forward. Next up here, we got the men's fatal four-way match. Winner of this match here will go off to face Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. We got here Randy Orton versus Damian Priest versus Trick Williams and his lemon pepper steppers, and we got Sami Zayn.
Shout out to the fan who had the lemon pepper lemon pepper side. Oh
The
my
lemon pepper
god.
side. I saw that deal. They do that fat. That's I know they still do like the sign of the night thing. Give that man the sign of the night. But
Man.
yeah, this one here, this one here can kind of go. I don't see Damian Priest.
For sure not.
I as much as I love Trick Williams, I don't think this will
Too
be the
soon.
right. Yeah, too soon.
And it just doesn't make sense to have two heels go at it at the Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. This one
Yeah.
here, obviously you're two. If you're a betting man, with not financial advice here, I think your betting favorites are either going to be Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. Based on how everything's going and maybe what we're hearing, time will tell with Sami Zayn. But regardless of even all that, I do think this is your perfect time to get Randy Orton back into the title picture. To kind of eventually chase that. I think he's a 13-time champion. He'll be chasing 14. I think he's currently
Yeah. Yeah.
chasing that 14, maybe getting to that Ric Flair-esque, maybe getting to that John Cena-esque. But yeah, this one here kind of gets into the right way here of leading to Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, which I know they faced off in the past, but obviously there's never been for the WWE Undisputed Championship. But yeah, this one here, I do got the Viper Randy Orton taking this one here. And I'm going to go pinning Damian Priest. We'll throw it out there. Pinning Damian Priest here. But yeah, I do got Randy Orton taking this one and facing Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Randy Orton is probably the only one that kind of makes sense, and that also kind of like even bleeds into the whole, like, if you think like Randy was the one who took out Jacob Fatu, like they can kind of like line that up, like where maybe they get involved and cost Randy the match at the Royal Rumble or something like that. But yeah, and I'm kind of feeding into the whole Sammy might win the Royal Rumble thing, so I don't see him losing, or I don't see him winning the Fatal 4-Way and then go to face for the title at the Rumble, because I think he's going to be in the Rumble. I know there's always that unwritten rule, like if you fight for the belt at the Rumble, you're not supposed to be in the Rumble. Of course, Roman Reigns decided to break that rule in 2017 and piss us all off,
Yep.
which that was an uproar in the stadium itself. But yeah, I think it's just logical to have Randy win this one and have to go 1-on-1 with Drew. So yeah, I'm going Randy. You said he's in a pin, Damien. Yeah, I mean that seems like the more logical one, right? Like I don't think they're gonna pin Trick. I don't think they're gonna have him take the L, and yeah. So sorry, Damien.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense for Damien to eat that pin there. You're not gonna have Trick eat a pin. Granted, if he eats a pin from Randy Orton, I don't think it hurts him in any way, but I don't think you get pinned that early. Sami Zayn again kind of goes back to what you just said here. He's one of the favorites to win the Royal Rumble. Don't know how I feel about it just yet. I don't know if I'm officially sold on the. I don't know if Mrs. Moon is influencing my brain here. I don't hate Sami Zayn. Let me clarify that. I do not.
Imagine if that's going to be y'all's main event when y'all go.
Oh my god. I do not hate Sami Zayn. I don't hate him. I've always liked Sami Zayn. I enjoy his stuff, enjoy his matches, I enjoyed the heel turn, obviously enjoyed the
conspiracy theory.
honorary ooze, conspiracy theory, like that stuff will always be one of the best Sami Zayn work. But like I don't know what it is right now. Like I don't know if it's just like the underdog story that I'm just not really buying into. Like I don't know. I always try to compare to Daniel Bryan. Like that's always been like my true like underdog story. And when you put them to comparison, like I just think that story with Bryan is just like levels above what we're seeing right now. But
And
again,
also, it would kind of like just be like a rerun of like Sammy and Gunther, like the underdog
yeah,
story with that. Like it's basically what it'd be in a sense, like rerunning. And
yeah.
and Drew can literally play the same character as Gunther. We're like, you're
And
never
they
gonna be
kind
able to
of
beat me, blah
they
blah.
hinted it already. Like they're
Yeah,
backstage on this Friday. He was like, I think you said you didn't watch it, but like backstage is like you've never beaten me. It's like I'm 4-0, like 5-0 against you. I think he said. So he's already kind of like planting that seed, like you've like never beaten me singles. Like I've always had your number. Same thing
yeah,
Gunther was telling him, a year ago at this point, or 2 years ago, whatever the hell that was. But yeah, again, don't hate it. I wouldn't mind it. Again, we'll talk about obviously we'll have this conversation next week.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't see yeah.
Man, I can't
I
believe it's already coming out. That's so crazy.
I was gonna say there's a funny thing in Unreal. I don't know if you caught on it. I think it's a fourth episode where Triple H is like the funny thing about this business, or like the crazy thing about this business, like it's like all the I'm not paraphrasing, but he's like all the events are so stacked up against each other. Like he's like, we got Saturday Night's main event, and then we got to head into the SummerSlam like a week ahead. And then I think he was talking about when I think it's the episode before when they're like when they're contemplating when R-Truth wants to shave his head.
Oh yeah.
Spoiler alert, everybody. Where he's like, R-Truth wanted to shave his head before the John Cena match. And Triple H was like, well, we have a week to do this. Like, what's the story? Like, that's the fucking point right now. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming the TKO thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't know like the logistics of like scheduling, things like that. Obviously, I know for the bigger events, you obviously have to like place your bids. That arena or venue has to be open. Obviously, this one's a little bit different because they're doing it in Saudi Arabia and they're building like a whole freaking new stadium for it. But like,
Yeah.
if you're creative and you're saying like everything's so stacked up against each other and we got like a week or 2 weeks to build it, like just push them back. I will never understand it. And I think that's like the more like mind-boggling thing. And I think again that's what's really has it's hurting this is like we got done with John Cena's retirement tour. And like they really didn't mention anything after that. Like I know John Cena did. He's like, Royal Rumble will be coming up, and like everybody will forget about me. But like WWE didn't do anything. Like there was no qualifier matches. There's nobody fighting for numbers like the way you used to in the past. We're not seeing the
Man.
balls being
Yeah.
rolled. Granted, you have a week to do all that stuff, like the balls being rolled, people picking their numbers, things like that. But like that's what used to make the Royal Rumble so fun and exciting. It still is. It's freaking Royal Rumble. Like we're still gonna watch it. Granted, we're gonna watch it at 2 in the afternoon, but or 12 in the
Oh
afternoon, whatever the
damn,
hell,
that's right. Yeah.
whatever time that it is. But um yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a society thing too. Like I don't know. Maybe that's what's affecting it. I really don't know. But like being that for the first time being overseas and not being traditional U.S. time, maybe that's what's turning it to. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to know that a week from now we'll be on the pod and we'll be talking about the Royal Rumble because it doesn't really feel like it.
Yeah. I think even too, like last time, this kind of might maybe be able to segue into the hobby talk. But I think like at this point last year, like we had Topps Chrome, so we had the rumblings of like the MVP buyback, and like
Yeah,
that's the first time. If I mean, they did it in wrestling, and if you're not familiar with it, it was like famously in baseball where when Topps Chrome would come out, and obviously whoever would win the MVP at the end of the year, you can trade in those cards for credit at your local hobby shop. And so I remember I think we talked to like when I think they never really gave us clarification of what the MVP buyback was going to be. Like they just said they were going to have it, and we're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But to me, I think we kind of like guessed it. I was like, well, it has to be something to do with the Royal Rumble winners, and sure enough, eventually ended up being the winners right of the Royal Rumble, yeah,
the
and
winners
whoever
of
won the match,
the winners of the main events of
the
the
main
oh no not the
events.
main event. I'm sorry, not the main events. The winners of the Royal Rumble. So like if you won the Royal Rumble, where about they're challenging, if that person wins,
Yeah,
men and women, they would be qualified for the MVP
yeah.
buyback.
So
Yeah.
the buybacks were Jay Uso and Tiffany Stratton were the MVP buybacks last year.
Charlotte.
No, but Charlotte lost the match. Wasn't it the
Oh
winners
yes,
of
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was
You're
the
right.
winners
You're
of the
right. You're
match.
right. You're right.
Like it
You're right.
was the Royal Rumble winner matches, but whoever won that
Yes.
title, yeah,
Yeah, you're
that's how
right.
it
Yeah,
was.
you're right.
Yeah. Um, so it's kind of interesting that I don't think we're getting it this year. I mean, unless they do it like where, I mean, obviously they're gonna hold it off until WrestleMania. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get another Topps Chrome this year. And if that's the case, like, you can't really do maybe buyback because
Yeah.
it's just I
I
don't
was
know.
literally gonna
Yeah.
I was literally gonna bring that up, and it's a perfect segue into what we're gonna be talking about here. Because yeah, like you mentioned here, last year we had Topps Chrome. I think it came out January. I legit think it came out Royal Rumble weekend or like Royal Rumble week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or like a week before. Um,
And last year was weird because the Royal Rumble was in February. I think it was like the first day of February. Remember?
yeah, it was
So
like an
it
awkward
caught
time.
me
It
off
threw
guard. I'm
everything.
like,
Yeah.
why the heck is yeah?
Um, but yeah, we had Topps Chrome coming out, which led to the excitement. Obviously, Topps getting back to license, releasing product first day, or not for not obviously not January 1st, but like first month, kicking guns blazing, they were fast out of the shoots there. And obviously, we leads on to whatever. But yeah, this month here, we have Topps Universe being delayed till February 27th, so that's about a month away. And then, like you just mentioned here, we have the Royal Rumble um WrestleMania coming up here, where WrestleMania is April 18th and 19th. So that literally gives Topps about a month to do a Topps Chrome if they're gonna do it and release it in masses so people can participate in the WrestleMania buyback. I know there's been some screenshots. I think it was to knock Tatanka that was signing cards for
Uh
Topps Chrome.
oh lordy.
Um, but like it's still like they're barely signing right now, and you're gonna have them sign, or that's a redemptions. Like, I don't know, unless it's like a redemption heavy set, which is nothing unusual for Topps to do that. But yeah, right now, somebody left me a comment about that. Like, well, maybe they're trying to save universe for WrestleMania. I'm like, well, don't think they would want to do that, because if you want to do buyback, which I mean, if they want to go crazy, they could do buyback with universe. I don't think they do that. You're usually traditionally is Chrome.
Yeah, it's Chrome. Yeah.
So I don't think they would do that, but yeah, I just think right now there is it's brutal right now for wrestling cards. I'll be completely honest. We're really excited for Universe, and I know we've kind of danced around it, but yes, Topps Universe has been delayed about a month, give or take here. Topps actually making me look like a freaking fool, because that Monday morning, or not Monday, that Friday morning, blasters were released over on Dick's Sporting Goods, where you're able to put your pre-orders. And then GameStop, actually sent me the screenshot of GameStop having them up on their website. Not, you couldn't buy them, but it did show that they were available for pre-order. So maybe I even put in my video like, hey, maybe you want to contact your local stores, you get
GameStop
a
even had
pre-order.
the parallels listed, which I
GameStop,
freaked out because I was like, well, let me go to Topps website to see if the checklist is there, which incidentally it wasn't. And at that time, like it didn't say like the date hadn't changed, it still had
yeah,
January's date. But yeah, I sent you the screenshot. I was like, dude, look, they even have like all the parallels listed. So I was like, man, where the hell did they get this from? And then yeah, like I think like within like hours later, like it started making its way around the internet that it got moved back like about a month. So yeah, can't say I'm surprised, but I know this is something like we always like we're like, oh, I hope it doesn't get delayed. I hope it doesn't get delayed. And so yeah, here we are again with another delay. It's crazy. I don't understand like how they can't get it together. Like I wonder what's causing this uproar of delays. So this would be the second one already for Universe,
yeah, second one.
because the first one was the actual first pre-order date that got postponed.
Yeah,
Um, and then now it's this one. So yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to see them fumble this hard. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, and I put it out in my video there. Like, I don't know like anything about like logistics, shipping, all that. Maybe that's for more of a intelligent mind who has more behind the scene talk and things like that. But it's just absolutely insane how bad it is been with this license. There's no sugarcoating anymore. And I put in my video, like, I know there's more crazier things going on in the world and things like that. I recognize that it's cardboard. I understand that it's wrestlers in their underwear on pieces of cardboard, so I get that 100%. But when you're making content around it, like, and there's really nothing to make content about, it's kind of tough to do it. And yeah, and I think it kind of I really I really don't know anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure once we get Universal, we'll be saying, "Oh, it's an awesome set." I've been saying it's going to be an awesome set. I've been like echoing that. I know everybody has all their eggs in their basket for royalty, and by all means, it should be because of the WrestleMania patches. We've seen the sneak peeks of the Raw and SmackDown debut patches. We've seen the patches, the autos, things like that. So that's definitely going to be a very, very fun set. But for the price point that we got for Universe, for the blasters being out for retail, like I was, telling people, telling the community, like, don't sleep on blasters, don't sleep on this product. You can get your 2 autos and your relic and get your guaranteed parallel number card in a blaster and your 2 galaxy parallels. If you pull a big name like a Punk, Tiffy, Braun Breaker, Trick, whoever, like you can, potentially, do well on that. But the fact that we don't have any product, once again, it's like damn, like there's really nothing to do. We're gonna go buy how many breaks of Finest and Cactus Jack again? Like there's only so much breaks that we can buy into of the same recycled product, and it gets very tiring. It really is. It's very frustrating, for sure. Very brutal. Like we're talking about, like the wrestling card market moves during this time very heavily because there's a lot more, you know, new eyeballs to the product potentially, or maybe some old eyeballs to the product potentially. And like, oh, like I already collect cards. Like I should go like, oh, this person just won the Royal Rumble. Like, let me go find the Topps Chrome card. Oh, wait, you can't do that because Topps Chrome's not even out. What's the new set that's out? Oh, Topps Universe. Oh, that card's not even out. I gotta go buy some Panini products, or I gotta go buy 24 Chrome. Like you 25 Chrome. Sorry. But yeah, you can't do it. It's just very, very frustrating. It really is.
Yeah, I hope it's also just when eventually when it comes out, I really hope it's just like there's a mass print of it, because it's gonna be a very bad look if it's released and then there's little to nothing out there in the wild. So I really hope that I hope this is what the delays are for. Like maybe they're trying to figure out like the logistics on how to, like, I don't know, get it into Target, Walmart, GameStops and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe that's the holdup. But yeah, because I mean, when Topps Chrome came out, I never saw it in a Target or a Walmart. I know we caught it at GameStop, I think probably like once or twice, and that was kind of it. So I don't know. I really hope it's print to the masses, because we hungry out here. We starving.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Again, like I was again to echo it. Like if you're Topps and you want to grow this wrestling card market, or want to grow this, your line here, I think this is like the most like perfect time to have product on the shelves, have product on your platforms like Fanatics Live, and there's not going to be any of it this weekend or next weekend. When it comes to new product, there's going to be breaks. I think Mama Breaks already posted they're doing something cool for Royal Rumble. Not too sure what, but yeah, it'll probably be the same old recycle stuff that we've been seeing hit the market. Flawless. I mean, granted, Flawless is a good set, but very expensive. That's a Panini product, but yeah, Topps, 21 Finest, 21 Chrome,
Some good mixers. Some mixers.
so some Topps Finest mixers, some Cactus Jack mixers.
You know which one I've been seeing a lot come out recently? The women's edition.
The movie, yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I know it's a Topps product. I think it's a Topps product, but I've been seeing that one like out of nowhere, like just coming out of like, I don't know, like, man, where all these boxes been hiding, that people are just like, that's how crazy it is where we're opening shit from like 2001, 2020. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
The first on the line stuff too is surprising. Like I've been seeing a lot of first on the line stuff. Like I think I saw Panini Prism being ripped from 2022, which is Tiffany Stratton's rookie year. Flawless, all of a sudden, like I've been seeing a lot of breaks on Flawless. Like Flawless, like a really expensive case set. Like, I know Ghostbreakers had some. Card Shop Live had some. I know ASB had some. I believe the Wax Culture too also had some as well. But yeah, there's just been like a lot of this old recycled product coming back into the fold because we have nothing else to open. So it kind of circles back to that. But yeah, again, unfortunately, I was even hoping to, which I'll have an announcement. I was hoping to have some new shows. I'm sorry, new singles for some upcoming shows. That was my goal and my idea. I was like, oh, cool. Like I'll have some like things in the showcase, and I'll have an announcement towards that. But yeah, again, very, very frustrating with all that. So again, keep your eyes out for all that. Hopefully February 27th is the day that we do have product in hand. I don't know if that's going to happen. Hold your breath, because obviously you can't guarantee anything, which is why like I don't like to guarantee anything. I talk about news that's given to me by Topps and announced by Topps. They don't give it to me directly, but when Topps announces it, I'll talk about it. Whatever they decide to do after that is not on me. I'm never going to talk like, oh, this is a rumor date for this, that, and third. You'll never see me do that. But yeah, I just talk about what Topps gives us, and we go from there, and we complain on the internet like the internet wrestling crowd does. But that's where we're at right now when it comes to Topps Universe, unfortunately. But it does give Mrs. Moon a late idea for a Valentine's Day gift. So if she's listening to this,
There you
Mrs.
go.
Moon, for February 27th, I'll take a 2-week late gift, by the way, 3-week late gift. So, tell ya. So, Mrs. Moon, if you listen to this, yeah, some blasters when I get home from work. Oh man. But yeah, like we were talking about here, it is Royal Rumble season. I've said that how many freaking times now. But at the time of this, obviously Royal Rumble does, like I just mentioned, does lead to new eyeballs being put on the wrestling card market, into the product in general, which can lead to some superstars potentially seeing some increases. So we thought it'd be a fun little segment here to maybe have a man or woman or both per se, as far as of who are we watching heading into the Royal Rumble season, the WrestleMania season. Who are we buying? Obviously, we have our PCs. You guys know, we PC CM Punk, Bray Wyatt. You have your, believe you're starting. I not believe you have started your Lyra Valkyria collection, your Dakota Kai collection. I have my Red Sinclair collection. I have a little bit of some Kendall Gray stuff on the way. So, and then of course I have my CM Punk, my Uncle Howdy stuff behind me, and just some random autos sprinkled in between. I like collecting random autos of some superstars that I just caught my eye, or some superstars that I've been, favorites of throughout the years. That's just the way I like to collect. But who are we watching here, Bropio? As far as of like potential flips, who are we buying on eBay? Who are we heading to the card show looking for, putting that flip on eBay? Maybe a Royal Rumble win kind of gets them their card markets a little bit, or maybe not even a Royal Rumble win. Like they start, they're getting over with the crowd, they're gaining a little bit more traction, they're seeing some more talk on the internet. Who is a man and or woman or both, if you got them, that you're looking at specifically headed into WrestleMania Royal Rumble season, as far as the trading cards, wrestling card market, as far as like, hey, this is the thing you want to keep an eye out for. Keep an eye out for their cards, because right now it's low, and potentially, not financial advice, can go up higher, so you get your money back to buy yourself a card that you actually want for your collection.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I got one woman picked out, and I got two on the men's side. So I'll start with the women. And you kind of just mentioned already, like we started the new PC of the Lyra Valkyria. So that's my pick for the women's side. I think even like before, or a couple of months late last year, there was like rumblings where like Lyra was set for like a big 2026 push and stuff like that. Um, like even I've binge watched the Unreal, and like she's a heavy focus on it. Her and the Becky feud is a heavy focus on it. So just seeing like how I guess how they see her and stuff like that was pretty cool. Then like kind of to see like that whole aftermath of the whole SummerSlam thing, which I won't spoil. You can kind of you'll see it eventually, but you kind of like just feel for her in that moment and stuff like that. But yeah, like she does, like her stuff is fairly affordable for my most part. I actually just picked up a her base auto from Cactus Jack, picked it up for $60. So she's on the cheaper side when it comes to like considering like if you look into like Rhea, Liv, Stephanie Vaquer, those Tiffany Stratton, like those types of levels. Like obviously she's more on the affordable side, and like I said, I think she's due for like a big run in 2026. They're kind of hinting like at a kind of a split with Bailey. I don't know. I kind of got that on Monday, where they're kind of just like they're kind of like not like meshing well, or not meshing well, but like they're not winning the big matches that they need to get the tag team titles and stuff like that. So they kind of made it seem like, you won't be mad if I win the Rumble, blah blah blah. So I don't know if they're hinting already at a potential split. So we'll kind of see where it goes from there. Obviously she can't challenge for the IC title because Becky is still the champion. I don't know if that clause like ended when Maxine won and then Becky won again. So there's a little weird there. But I don't know if maybe there'll be like a world title run eventually for her. So let's wait and see. But yeah, that's my pick for the women's side. Is Lyra Valkyria. For the men's side, one is kind of obvious. I'm thinking Obafemi. I think like, especially I'm projecting that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I think it'd be kind of foolish not to have him in there.
I believe
I
he was on the. I don't know if you saw the spoiler. They Saudi had the poster, up,
mm,
and he was on there.
okay, sweet. Yeah, I did not see that. Um, but I think that's a good way for like to people like if you're not familiar with Double Femi, like if you don't watch NXT, like that's a great way to like put him in the Rumble and have him just like dominate, like throw out a bunch of people. Like that'd be a good way to like get your foot in the door. And if you see that and you're not familiar with him, you're like, oh, who the hell is this guy? And like he was just put on this dominant performance, like you're gonna want to go and like look up some of his cards. And I think I haven't really like looked into his market, but I don't like I'm projecting I can't I'm assuming he can't be that expensive right now. Um so I think a strong Royal Rumble performance from him should set him up pretty good. Because yeah, I think if he has to be booked in a strong way to get it going. So um, yeah, I hope they don't fumble it. And they kind of scare me with this stuff, but yeah. So he's one of my pick. Another pick, little sleeper pick, also more of a fortified. Ethan Page, dude's just fucking hilarious, man. Like you just, I know his inscription was making rounds on a. I don't know if is it for Universal Royalty where he made that
Universe.
Universe. Okay, yeah. So that's gonna be a big chase card, I'm assuming, for people. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, he wrote an inscription like, "Please leave me alone at the airport." Like you have this one of one card now. Like so, yeah, dude's hilarious, killing it down at NXT. I would think maybe in a Royal Rumble spot. I think that'd be a good way to like
He was
introduce
also on
him.
the poster.
Oh shit! Well, there you go. Damn, I have to look at this damn poster. Shit, is Chris Jericho on that poster? um, yeah. So I think he's also like he's just like I said, he's been killing it down in NXT. I would think he would have been part of the call ups, but obviously wasn't. So I don't know if maybe this is like a post WrestleMania thing, or I don't know if they're gonna do this draft that they always tend to do, and like we're like NXT people are eligible for the draft. So if that's the case, like I see like maybe like a like him, Ricky Saints. I don't know if you can. I mean, technically, I would call up Blake Monroe. I don't think she needs to be down there in NXT, but I didn't watch NXT. I haven't watched it, so I know there's a whole rumblings now with her and Jada Parker that seems to be
Jay
going
Parker.
on.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that's going to go with that. But yeah, that's going to be another pick for me. Again, he's like more affordable. I think like you can pick up like some of his finest autos for like $15, 15, $20.
Yeah.
So just a funny dude. And yeah.
Yeah, all saw the picture. Funny that you mentioned about Ethan Page, because yeah, there's a little segment with Ethan Page and Ricky Saint. They like look at each other and they're like, "Look at us, like carrying, like they paraphrasing, but like they're like, look at us, like carrying the division on our backs, or like holding down NXT." So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a funny little moment between them two. But yeah, no, all solid picks there. Um, for me, yeah, I have both men and women. There's a lot of people that I'm watching particularly, so I'm just gonna probably like echo out some names here. On the women's side here, Roxanne Perez, I know is one. Her market it's not crazy when as I'm looking at it right now. Like some of her like silver prism autos are like anywhere from like $60, which isn't too crazy. So Roxanne Perez, kind of we're talking about here. Is she going to go out by herself? Is this going to be a heel turn for her, a face turn for her? It's going to be very, very interesting to see her play out for the rest of the year. People also I failed to remember that she was like the longest or like second longest women to like last in the Royal Rumble last year. Where she was
Oh
like
yeah.
second,
She's
she
long
broke the
now.
record,
And
right?
she
Yeah.
beat Bailey's record. Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously does show that WWE does have some faith in her. Not saying that they never did, but does show that they do have some stock in her. So as we get closer to WrestleMania, whatever that looks like, maybe it's a Roxanne and Liv one-on-one match. Who knows? I don't know. But I think Roxanne Perez is in a very interesting spot here. Again, some of her stuff is a little bit affordable. Some of her stuff, like her iron stuff, is a little bit on the pricier side. But it's a name you want to keep an eye out for. I was talking to fellow listener Big John. Shout out to Big John here. I am watching. I think right now, if you're really wanting to quote unquote make money in the wrestling card market, I say that in quotation marks because I don't want to say it's hard, but like I think right now a real big strong opportunity right now if you want like a long-term hold or maybe like a middle of the term hold. I think right now your true money is going to be an NXT talent right now. I think right now
Yeah.
WWE in general, wrestling in general, specifically WWE, is like, I don't want to say in a transition period, as ironically enough as John Cena has retired, but like I think right now the window is really open for a lot of different people. Um, you're obviously going to have your people who are always going to have a very high market, your CM Punks, your Codys, your Liv Morgans, your Rhea Ripleys. Those are always going to have a steady market, which, if you open a blaster box and you pull a CM Punk auto, you're for sure making your money back. Hell, even a hobby, for retail price, you pull one of those big four name auto, more than likely you're making your money back and then some. I think if you really want to try to get into this market and try to like prospect, as we say, like big, going back to baseball or sports, like you really want to prospect, I think you really have to look at NXT right now and kind of pick, okay, who's making some wave down there, who doesn't have a lot of opportunity or doesn't have a lot of cards where you can really tap into. So one for me right now that I would pick is Tatum Paxley. I absolutely love Tatum Paxley. I think she's a very interesting spot right now. Had the NXT Women's Championship, lost it to JC Jane when she got betrayed by the Calling and Izzy Dame. Izzy Dame right now being your North American champion right now. I think that's a perfect segue for Tatum Paxley to get that belt, and then obviously have her carry that middle card division for NXT on the women's side. I do think right now, even with like Jordan Grace being gone, Last Legend being gone, I think the women's division does have a strong opportunity right now. You can make the argument for Lola Vice. You can make the argument for Fallon Henley, JC Jane, all three of those girls. I would say Kendall Gray, but she doesn't have a lot of cards out right now. It's just her Topps Finest and her Topps Now card,
Yeah.
which I mean, not a lot of opportunity if you're trying to get into it. It's expensive, so I mean, not a lot of opportunity right now to make make money again, long term holds. But yeah, if I was to pick one right now, I would pick Tina Paxley. Her geometric autos go for anywhere for like $30. Geometric refractor just sold for $20. Some of her lower end stuff is pretty affordable. And she's a pretty popular name. Does have rookie cards as well. So if you want to go into that, you can go look at 23 products. So Tatum Paxley would be my pick here from the women's side there as far as of NXT talent. On the men's side, again, yeah, a lot of open window again for a lot of these people here. But if I was to put, maybe it's just me just being selfish, pick bastard, just because I do have a big card. I don't say a big card, but like I have a pretty decent card, that being Trick Williams. We kind of were talking about it here in the Fatal 4-Way match. I absolutely love Trick Williams.
Yeah.
And I think what's been so good about it right now, and we kind of see it sometimes when NXT talent get in the call up. Like sometimes they do struggle. Like look how long it's taken for Carmelo Hayes to kind of find his footing. Look at some of those guys that have getting called up and they haven't really done anything. The fact that Trick Williams is already involved in a pretty big title picture. Granted, he's not going to win, but the fact that they're already considering him to be involved in that, putting them in programs or being involved with Randy Orton, like that's a big W. So Trick Williams is definitely my guy as well. His Topps Chrome auto, depending on the rarities, can go anywhere from like $20 to $30. So you can find a pretty good deal on that. I have his out of 10, his Gold Prism 10, emergent card. I think that's a pretty big card. So yeah, I would pick Trick Williams here from the men's side. I don't know if you want to officially put him like on the NXT or main roster side. He's kind of right in between, just because again, he just got the call up there. Again, the NXT side down from the NXT officially on the men's inside. Again, very, very wide open. I think we talked about last episode how, a lot of these guys are gone. Obafemi, Javon Evans, those guys are gone. So that roster is a little bit thin. And a lot of these superstars don't have cards right now. But I actually name that I did have was Ethan Page. I do love Ethan Page a lot. Again, like you mentioned here, you could buy some of his finest stuff here for anywhere from like $10-15. Is like out of 75 checkerboards go from like $25 to $30. So you can find a pretty good deal on that. His AAA stuff has been good with Chelsea Green. Like you mentioned here, the North American Championship has been a phenomenal run. Does he get involved in the main title picture? I know Ava put out that foolery stipulation where if you have the North American Championship, you can't qualify for the man. I don't know where that rule all of a sudden came into play, but that's absolutely foolery.
They make up shit down there in NXT. It's like a whole other freaking realm of stuff, dude. I don't know where
So like I don't know where that rule came from. I don't know when that happened. You get to stop being a double champ for whatever reason.
That must have came from the boss to Pebble.
Yeah, from the Pebble himself. So But yeah, no, I would pick Ethan Page. I think he's a guy to keep an eye out for. I think that description is definitely going to help him a little bit. I'm pretty sure we'll probably see his universe slot a little bit pricier.
I
His
was about
slots
to
in
say, I
finest.
wonder if that's gonna drive up his price because even in like in the other like, well, he was in finest. Well, he was in Chrome. He was in Chrome too. Right? Was he in Chrome? Ethan Page.
Yeah, he was in Chrome.
Like I don't know. I really didn't do breaks for Topps Chrome.
Yeah,
So I don't really know what his spots were, but I know finest were like pretty affordable, and he did sign and stuff like that. And I feel like his autos were like always popping up every time I watch a damn break. Like him and freaking Tony D'Angelo was always popping up.
Tony G, how's your chicken
Yeah,
cup?
Kid Wilson, funny enough, was always also popping up a lot. Like I think I remember watching one break and they pulled like 3 Kid Wilson autos. I was like, Jesus, like um I know JD McDonough was pulled a lot. I remember seeing a lot of breaks with JD McDonough's auto and stuff like that. So um yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if like that one card drives up his price. Because I know like Kevin Owens is I know like the more famous one for having inscriptions, and I think Kevin Owens is always kind of just a little bit higher just because he's Kevin Owens. And I'm pretty sure if you go and ask like 10 WWE fans, like, oh, who do you know, like Kevin Owens or Ethan Page, like you're probably more than likely gonna get the Kevin Owens answer. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if his spot's a little bit higher just because of that card alone. So something to keep an eye on, maybe.
Yeah, like just for reference here, like an Ethan Page checkerboard refractor at 75 just sold for $25 yesterday.
There you
On
go.
the 19th of time of recording. Base auto went for $18.50, $25, $20. His Topps Chrome, like we just mentioned here, went for 31. His Cactus Jack Fame Phantoms, which this is kind of crazy, went for $25. That's kind of crazy just because the Fame Phantoms, like we talked about, you're not guaranteeing an auto in Cactus Jack, and those were pretty short printed. So yeah, there's that a gold moments auto from Finest went for $22. So again, that's kind of what we talk about here on this channel here, where if you'd like to buy into potential like low to mid end, $20 to $40, while that may not be a lot to some, like that's $20 you didn't have. That's always what I like to echo. So that's money where you can put that $40, to your big, PC, if that's whoever that you decide to collect. But I think right now those are some of the strong opportunities right now where, again, if you're trying to get into this prospect, make a little bit of money, again, not financial advice, I'm not telling you to go out and buy every 101 or every out of 50 auto of these superstars, but again, just some superstars to keep an eye out for as we head into the Royal Rumble season here. And yeah, I'm very, very excited for it, kind of see what these cards do and what these superstars do moving forward. And then eventually, as we move forward into some of these new Topps products, if and when we do get them. But yeah, that's all we had here wrapped or written down here for this episode of Collecting the 1, 2, 3. But before I wrap everything up here on my end, Bro Pio, any good final thoughts here for the good old listeners to Collecting the 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, I really don't got much. I do have a funny story. So obviously today we're binge watching Unreal. So when my 4-year-old daughter came and watched it, we got to the point of they were show they were telling the story of the whole Io and Rhea match at Evolution. So as we're watching it, and it's funny because she watches wrestling with me on Mondays, and but sometimes I always feel like she's not paying attention. Obviously, she's 4; she's not gonna catch on to everything. She's always busy playing with her Paw Patrols and stuff like that. But like today, she actually like made me realize like, man, she is really paying attention to this stuff. So they're telling the story of the whole Io and Rhea match, and like it gets to the point where like they start showing the fighting and stuff like that. So she turns to me and she's like, why are they fighting? And I'm like, well, they're fighting for the belt, right? And I'm trying to tell her like, they're fighting for this, blah blah. And she's like, yeah, but aren't they friends? And I'm like thinking, yeah, and I'm like, and then it clicked. I was like, oh, it's like she's thinking like Monday Night Raw, like when she's seeing them partners and tag team champions, stuff like that. And I was like, oh no, this is older. This is like this happened a long time ago. They were fighting for the other belt, and then then it like I guess it kind of like clicked in her. And I think even at the end of the once they get past like the Naomi cash in, like they show like Rhea and Io hugging, and so I told her, I was like, look, see, like they're hugging, they're friends again. And I think it clicked, but I was like, man, that was so funny. Like she actually caught on. She's like, hey, why are they fighting? Aren't they friends? So yeah, that was pretty funny. That was a good little wrestling moment right there.
Yeah, not to say it because she's my niece, but I think she's one of the more like smarter and like intelligent 4-year-olds that I know. Like she remembers like every little thing. Like I've said maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, like she'll like randomly bring that up in me. I'm like, why do you still remember that?
Oh yeah,
So it does
still
not surprise me. And like, I
she
know
keeps her
we
receipts.
we obviously we do on the side that we always like recite like movie lines or like random like lyrics or shit like that, and she does the same thing, like
Yeah.
random movies. But yeah, no, it does not surprise me that she's already at that age where like, hey, like weren't they just like on Monday Night Raw
Yeah.
as a tag team and now they're fighting? Like, doesn't make any sense.
It was
So
funny too
I was
because where were after watching it too because also they showcase um the John Cena Cody Rhodes match at SummerSlam. So when she saw Cena come out with the belt, she was like, "Hey, why does he have Cody's belt?" And then I was thinking she didn't watch SmackDown with us because she went to bed early those days, so she didn't. Sometimes she'll fall asleep before the main event on SmackDown. Well, for sure now that it's going 3 hours, but like she never saw Drew win the belt, and then we didn't watch SmackDown last time. So I was like, yeah, that's Cody's belt, but I'm like, well, now it's not his anymore. And I was like, you're see later, but now it's Drew McIntyre's belt. She knows who Drew McIntyre is. So, yeah, she's gonna been for a whirlwind when she's Drew with the belt. But yeah, it's pretty funny, man.
That's funny. That is pretty funny there. I'm gonna flame her when I see her and ask her
Yeah,
about it. So I definitely will ask her about it when I see her. Yeah, final thoughts here on my end. Let's see here. I don't think I talked about it here on the pod. I may have. Excuse me, last week. I don't think I did. I know obviously I made a video about it here. So if you guys are not following the content over on like TikTok, YouTube, wherever, highly recommend that you go follow me over there. This guy do like short little bit of announcement, things like that. But for any listeners, watchers, wherever you're tuning into this podcast, if it's on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast over on YouTube, I will be posted up as a trading card vendor for the very first time on February 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time in San Antonio, Texas. So if you are in the San Antonio area, I will be posted up as a WWE / like AEW, a little bit of AEW, but basically a wrestling and a little bit of TCG trading card vendor for the very first time. I'm going to be documented all here. Again, it's February 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is hosted by the San Antonio House of Cards, or sponsored in collaboration with the San Antonio House of Cards. It is hosted by the Vaulty Collectibles. It is the event called Cards and Coffee, just because obviously the event is held in the morning. For information here, it's at I think I'm saying it right, the Wave Room or the WAV Room. I don't know how to say that. It's missing the
probably
E.
Wave Room.
It's missing
Shit.
I think it's missing the E. So WAV Room. Where they promote it, right? So at the WAV Room here on 3000 North St. Mary Street, again, San Antonio, Texas. So if you're in the San Antonio area, again, I will be there for the first time.
Come on down to the WAV Room.
Come on down to the WAV Room. Again, 3000 North St. Mary Street, San Antonio, Texas. Again, I will be posted as a vendor for the first time. Me and Mrs. Moon will be there. Posted up again as a vendor. It's going to be hopefully a good time. Hopefully I know I've ran into a couple of listeners and people from TikTok out in public. So if you guys are in the local area, just again want to come and say hi, feel free to do so. I also made a video about it too. Like, hope you guys know, like, when you guys like, buy cards from me, if it's on like eBay, whatnot, now at vending card shows, if that's going to become a primarily a thing, like you are supporting us, you are supporting the content, like you're helping me do different things, support myself, support my wife, things like that. So I every ounce of appreciation you show to the content, I really do appreciate it a lot. Like, we're not monetized by any means here on these platforms yet. Hopefully that will come eventually. But like, me being monetized is like me making, sending these low end, wrestling cards. So any money that you're spending on us, I really, really do appreciate it. If you're joining with the affiliate links down below, if you're checking out Bro Peel store, if on eBay, which again, link will be down in the description down below. If you're checking out my store, if you're joining the Whatnot streams, again, I really, really do appreciate all the support that you guys do show the content and support. So again, if you're in the local area, want to come and say hi, don't feel entitled to buy anything from me. If you just want to come and say hi, say what's up, talk some wrestling, it'll be after the Royal Rumble. So we will be talking about it here. So if you just want to come and chat, it's free. I failed to mention that it's completely free entry, free parking. Don't have to pay for anything, which, if you go to any other card show, you're paying, $10 to get in, $12 to get in. You're paying for parking potentially if you're like in a downtown area. So free entry, free parking. Come in, grab a coffee, walk around, have a good time, chat. It was a goal for me to just get involved in my local community here a little bit more. So if I sell one card, don't sell any cards, but if I get my name out there more, I think that's a W in my eyes. So again, if you're in the area, come say hi. Cards and coffee at the WAV room. 3000 North St. Mary Street, San Antonio, Texas. Come and say hi. I'll be there. Mrs. Moon will be there. I'm pretty sure you'll be there.
I'll be there, yeah.
And so we will all be there at the WAV room. So
wow.
So come on down, say hi. It'll be a good time. Again, that's going to be February 1st. But yeah, that's all I have on my end for this episode. We will be back next week with our Royal Rumble prediction. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave me a comment down below. Who do you got winning? Who do you got winning Saturday Night's Main Event? Who are you watching? Who are you buying the wrestling card market? It's all in the comments down below. And again, if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, make sure you are following and bookmarking so you are notified when we go episode is released. And of course, if you have any feedback for us, I'm open to any sort of feedback. So if you guys have any feedback for us, please feel free to leave that down in the comments down below on your rating, wherever you're listening. But yeah, that's all I have on my end. Again, guys, thank you so much for all support. I really do appreciate you guys. And we will see y'all on the next one at the WAV Room Live Podcast.
Wow.